Hi, my name is Emma and I am an instructor here at the Floating Lotus Yoga Studio. And today I'm going to be doing a mini prenatal practice that will work anytime throughout your pregnancy. I am 5 months pregnant, 20 weeks pregnant today, so I will be doing modifications specifically for second trimester. But like I said, this can really be worked into any part of your pregnancy. So to start out, I'm going to be doing child's pose, and I'll go ahead and talk through it before I move in. I'm going to move on to hands and knees, and then take my knees nice and wide apart and bring my toes together. And after that, I'm going to sink my hips down towards my heels. And I want to make sure that I have enough room for my belly to be able to rest down. And as you move into this pose, if having your belly to the floor doesn't feel comfortable, you can put a blanket underneath your belly, and you can have a pillow as well, so something you may have at home like a couch cushion or a pillow to put underneath for a little padding. So I'll go ahead and move into child's pose, and you can see what that looks like. And when you take child's pose, I would stay for about 3 to 5 breaths, so we're really going to let the body relax. Let your hips sink back towards your heels and let your chest rest towards the ground, okay? So as you come into child's pose, you take the knees nice and wide, bring your toes together, and then you sink down. So right here, I'm going to walk my knees out even wider so my belly is going to rest down towards the floor. And I let my arms go out long in front. And you can rest down here in child's pose for as long as you want. I'm not going to stay here very long today, but knowing that your practice, you can stay for, 5 to 10 breaths or even up to a minute to just really let your body relax. Now from here, I'm going to come up to my hands and to my knees and help yourself up with your hands and draw your knees underneath your hips. And I'm going to come to hands and knees and spread my fingertips nice and wide. And now I'm going to move into what we call cat and cow. So this is a great warm-up for your spine. And this also, and I'll take my little drape off here, this also allows room for your belly and for your baby to just have a little bit of space. So it creates almost a hammock here. You're going to spread your fingertips wide, have your knees underneath your hips, or if it feels better, walk your knees wider apart. So you really want to create enough space for your belly and for your body to be comfortable here, okay? You're going to start with a nice neutral spine, and then on your inhale, you're going to sweep your chest forward, let your tailbone rise up. And then on your exhale, you're going to round your back. Drop your chin towards your chest. So I'm going to move with my breath here. Take a nice inhale. You're going to draw your chest open. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, chest comes open. Exhale, round into your back. Let me take that one more time. Inhale. Chest comes open. Exhale. Round the back. And from here, I'm going to come into a neutral spine. And I'll sit back as I explain that I'm going to move into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, as you move further into your pregnancy, can change a little bit. Most of the time we have our feet closer together. As your hips start to widen and the belly starts to grow, you're going to want to walk your feet wider apart and make sure to have your stance in a way that feels really, really balanced. And you're also going to have your head hanging upside down. So if you start to feel lightheaded or if you have any blood pressure concerns, go ahead and just take a child's pose as opposed to downward facing dog. So I'll go ahead and move into downward facing and describe it for you. And then I'll walk my feet back so you can see the body positioning as my belly has started to grow a bit. Okay? So I start out in hands and knees, and I spread my fingertips nice and wide. I'm going to tuck my toes, and then I'm going to lift my hips up and draw the weight of my body back. So right now I have my feet pretty close together, and I feel like my lower part of my belly could have a little bit more room. So I'm going to walk my feet wider apart and really draw my arms nice and long so the weight shifts away from my wrist, and I'm just going to let my chest melt down. And I'm going to bend one knee, then the other, kind of open up into my hamstrings, into the back of the legs, while I let my head hang nice and loose. You can stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. Take a few rocks side to side. Let the belly be nice and soft. And then as you're ready, you're going to walk your feet up to your hands and come into a forward fold. So I'm going to take one big step, right foot, left foot. And as I come into my fold, I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to rest my hands to my thighs. So as I'm here, you'll notice my belly's not constricted. My chest is coming open. And this can be a really nice start to a forward fold. You can stay right here if that's comfortable, or you can start to straighten your knees and release your hands down to the floor, to your shins, or you can use blocks, or if you're at home, soup cans, and rest your hands down. And as you'll notice here, and you can see it pretty clearly, I've got room for my belly. So there's space. And as you do grow bigger, you can up the level of your blocks, and you can take your feet wider, or put a nicer bend in your knees. So you really can modify this to work into the stretch you need. Now, as I'm here, my belly feels okay if I take a deeper forward fold. Having my belly pressed against my thighs isn't bothersome for me. And so if you want to take a nice deep forward fold, you can take a forward fold like this. If you feel constricted, come back out and bring your hands to your shins, okay? So we're going to come, and let's just take 2 full breaths here. Let your upper body hang down nice and firm in the feet and in the legs. And then from here, we're going to rise to stand. Bring your hands to your hips. Really firm up your legs. Have a soft bend in your knees. And we'll come all the way up. So when you come all the way up, make sure to stand up and then stand so your body can get used to being standing. A lot of times there is changes in blood pressure, blood levels. So really, to lose that lightheaded feeling, let your body settle in. Okay. And as I come to stand, in yoga we call standing Tadasana. And most of the time, we'll have our feet close together, shoulders on the back, palms facing forward. Throughout the pregnancy, and certainly now, I notice that my hips have gotten a little bit wider. So what I do is I step my feet further out. So they're going to be hips distance apart, as opposed to feet close together. And as you're here, your belly really has room to just rest down. Your body feels supported on your feet. And then roll your shoulders onto your back so your chest and your heart area is going to come open. So as we continue through the practice, I'm going to really emphasize bringing the chest open, because after the baby's here, you're doing a lot of rounding, a lot of holding. So what we want to do is keep the chest open and also keep that heart space open. So as I'm here, Tadasana, you can let your eyes close. Just feel the sensation of standing. Feet to the ground. Draw your tailbone gently down towards your heels so your lower back is going to lengthen and your heart is coming open. I'm going to close my eyes and take a few deep breaths here. And as you're breathing here, you can take the breath and really let the belly soften, let your breath travel down all the way to the baby, all the way to the belly. So having baby, he or she, be a part of the practice as well. So remembering to breathe and breathe deeply down. Now from here, I'm going to move into a few standing poses, and then we'll rest down in child's pose. The first standing pose I'm going to come to is called extended side angle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to step nice and wide with my right foot, and I'm going to bring my left foot back, and my heel is going to be a bit farther than my toes. And right now I have a nice wide stance, and then I'm going to bend my front knee. So as you see, my knee is over my ankle, and there's a nice spread in the length of my leg so I can really keep myself balanced. Now from here, I'm going to bring my right forearm to the top of my right thigh and take my left arm right up to the sky. So as you're here, the belly has a lot of space. You're drawing your shoulder blades together so your chest is coming open and you're lengthening up. So not only are you working your legs and really getting strong in your legs, but you're having a nice side stretch here. And if you want, you can extend that left arm up and alongside your ear. So you're really opening into your left side waist, and you're giving the belly and also your rib cage a lot more room. From here, you're going to use your core, rise yourself all the way up, release the hands down, and let's take it to the other side. All you have to do is pivot your toes. Now your left toes turn out. Coming into your stance, put a bend in that left front knee. Let the body settle in here and get comfortable. And then bring the left forearm to the top of the left thigh. I still have a lot of room for my belly. The hip is coming open, shoulders on the back. And I take my right arm up this time. So as you're here, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can always come right here. You're still strengthening into your legs. You're still opening up your heart. But from here, now I'm going to reach my right arm long, keep my hips opening, keep myself sinking, and really coming into this left hip super, super strongly. Chest coming open. I'm going to inhale and come up, really strong in the legs. And then from here, I'm going to turn my left toes forward and my right toes forward. And I'm going to come into a forward fold. Let me get my blocks for a minute. Here we go. As I'm in my forward fold, I'm going to bring my hands to my hips and look down at my toes and really make sure they're facing forward, which they are. I'm going to begin to engage my inner thighs because your legs are really your strength here. And then I'm going to come and bring myself halfway down. Now from here, fingertips to the floor, or if you feel a little stress, you want a little help, bring your fingertips to blocks. So there's a lot of space for the belly right here. There's no constriction whatsoever. You draw through the back of your thighs, so you're getting a nice stretch in your hamstrings and your calf muscles. You can stay right here, or if you choose, you can take yourself deeper into the forward fold, bring your hands to your feet or to your shins, and let the top of your head start to draw down. Now, as you're here, sometimes that lower part of the belly will touch to the thighs. If that's not comfortable, bring yourself back up, lengthen your spine, and just draw your sit bones back, nice and firm in the feet, lengthened in the chest. Let's take another breath here. And as we get ready to come up, I'm going to come up the same way I came down. I'm going to really be strong in my legs, bring my hands to my hips. Let's put a soft bend in the knees, and then you rise to stand. And then I'm going to heel toe my feet together and come to stand. Now from here, let me shift the blocks out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and come back down to hands and knees. I'm going to do a few rounds of that cat and cow that we started out with. So I'm going to draw my chest up and open on the inhale. Exhale, I'm going to round my back. Let's move with our breath. Inhales and exhales. And then from here, neutral spine, moving into child's pose. Take the knees nice and wide, bring the big toes together, and then sink the hips right back towards the heels. And let the body soften down, really let the belly have enough space and the chest have enough space to rest. And then to come up, pressing the hands into the floor. And I'll shift off to one side. Thank you so much for doing a practice with me. Let's bring our hands to heart center. It's called Anjali Mudra. You're going to press your hands together. Let the eyes close and roll your shoulders onto your back, so your chest and your heart come open. And let your head bow down, so you're going to move your chin towards your chest. Honoring your body for the changes and the energy and growth it is bringing into this world. Looking at yourself with loving kindness and appreciation. Also bowing into the new life, the spirit growing inside you, thanking both yourself and your baby for the practice today. And I thank you for your practice. Namaste.